WDTR Detroit, 90.9 FM, Detroit Public Schools Radio.
What we accept as our reality is based on those ideas that we choose to believe. We use words to express those ideas, and in that sense, we invite the community to join us in an exchange of ideas that will enable us to create a new and better reality. My name is Mzee. The word up today is Melanin, the Mothership. Jamo. It's another glorious and outstanding day in the history and development of African people. Important events that have occurred this week in African history. May 12th, Sam Nujoma, president of the Southwest African Peoples Organization, SWAPO, was born in 1928. Mr. Nujoma is now president of the independent country, Namibia. May 13th, Wilson Goode, the mayor of Philadelphia, authorized the bombing of the MOVE headquarters that destroyed 61 homes, left 257 people homeless in the ensuing fire that engulfed Osage Avenue. 11 MOVE members, including children, are murdered in 1985. Also, May 13th, Joe Louis Barrow, pugilist who held a heavyweight title longer than any other man, was born. May 14th, 1897, Sidney Bechet, jazz clarinetist, was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. Slavery was abolished in Brazil and was replaced by forced labor. In 1888, 2 African students were killed and 14 injured by police at Jackson State University in 1970. May 16, 1979, A. Philip Randolph, civil rights and labor leader, died. May 17th, 1875, the first Kentucky Derby was won by Oscar Lewis, who rode Aristides to victory. May 18th, Miami, Florida, a black rebellion against unjust social and economic conditions in Liberty City. 21 killed in 1980. Also, May 18th is the Brazilian National Council of Black Women was founded by Maria Nascimento in 1950. And also May 18th is Heroes Day in Namibia. In 1955, May 18th, Mary McLeod Bethune, great educator, died in Daytona Beach, Florida. Of course, a lot of interesting things have been going on in African history. One important announcement, May 19th, 1991, at the International Institute, the Hall of Nations, 111 East Kirby, there will be a banquet and program honoring Dr. John Henry Clark and my teacher, my highly esteemed mentor, Dr. Yusef Ben Yakinen. This is a fundraiser to help Doc in his archaeological works at the university in Cairo, and also to publicize their new book and Dr. Clark's pamphlet. It's an important event. Please support this, Al-Kebulans Incorporated. For more information, call 527-5720. As you all know, today is a day that honors our mothers. I don't know who designated this particular day to be Mother's Day. It seems as if the capitalists have really instituted this day so that they can sell their trinkets and whatnot. But the idea of honoring mother should not be denied or minimized, especially because in my view, Mother's Day is the day I was born. It was obviously one of the most important days, or the most important day in my life, and I'm grateful to Mother for making that possible. But we have to pay homage to all the great feminine principles that manifest themselves in our lives, those feminine principles that facilitate, that nourish, that nurture, that protect, that comfort and provide compassion to us as we sojourn through this life. We pay our respect to Nut, the sky mother, who was a personification of the vault of heaven, whose heavenly children enter her mouth and emerge from her womb. We pay homage to Nun, mother of the worlds, the cosmic mother of the universe, out of which emerged Ra in the form of Kepler, the self-created, the transformer, who moves through the cycles of rebirth and resurrection through a process of metamorphosis. We pay homage to Ma'at, mother of all philosophy. She is truth, harmony, order, balance, and reciprocity. We pay homage to Aset, the mother of life, who reconstructed the body of Wosir by erecting, re-erecting, resurrecting the regenerative male member from a dead level to a perpendicular, who in the form of Mut is the mother of the sun, the nurturer, the mother of wisdom. We pay homage to Hathor, Het Heru, who represents the abode of Horus, the immaculately conceived son of Aset. We pay homage to Seshet, the mother of letters. We pay homage to Taret, a form of Isis, who represents the pregnant woman full of life in its potency. I pay homage to my earthly mother, Delilah Harrell, who facilitated my own entrance into this earthly life. To Nora Williams, the mother of Io Nana, mother of the earth, the mother of Ifedara Nabawi, who is the mother of my 4 lovely children. And so, as we dedicate this program to our mothers, the Mothership, I suggest that you heed the words of the brother.
My name is Professor X, the Overseer, and what you're about to witness is the messenger group X-Clan. Here's the 9, the movement Black Watch. And when we're not outraged about the oppression upon the black existence, we step to you in blackness. By the way, exist in a state of vainglorious as we are protected by the red, the black, and the green. Heed the words of the brother. Sissy.
Let us the words, word to phrase, the paragraph. Heed math as J begins class. Lines of past is now brought to the rhyme face. From the scroll, straight to the verse. Gods to gods, from gods to man. Many kings, many leaders, a fist from a hand. They call me militant, now what does this mean? Do I carry a gun to make the army scene? Put the cause and never pause, as simply as the brother. Raise the flag, wave the colors. Red, black, green with the key, the difference. Words make a way in the world in the instant. Living to die and I die to live again. 360 degrees. Comprehend, a man getting stronger till he's man no longer. Unearthly state makes the time seem shorter. Forever radiant awareness, brought forth the one. Open eye, stroke sun. Practicing preach, standing by what I teach. So you all stand starving as I start to unleash. Words of the blackness brought from the Genesis will exist till Armageddon is a witness. The originals built the earth. Why must there be aggression to learn a basic lesson? Quite majestic, stern within reality. A juggernaut when you tamper with mentality. However, crown, extension and dimension of a brain cell, bringing hell to the cell. Forever tangled, web we weave, always trying to obtain, no attempt to achieve. Descendants of kings and queens act like justice, never potential, caught up in the measure. Jealousy of what are we becomes tendency for their thievery. Alright, cool, but no need to pull a tool cause that's a fool. I get my words sliced in my school to produce the words that they dream about. It's another way of taking out these sissies who may try to extinct my principality. But of course not having madness. From beginning I'm the end, observe me. Ignorance is not a trend. So as I beckon for a few seconds, pull the reins. The universe, mastering words on the verse. Funk is a force I exert. Egyptian, African, now I'm on a black watch. Check my sundial, synchronize the clock. I can catch a shadow as the moon reflects the sun. Creator's eyes make a path of other one. So now I walk softly and carry a big stick, a bird stick, so you natives sooner lick. Jay brings the funk and spreads jam to the wheat bread. And the funk of this one vainglorious, unearthly resistance, strong with persistence. Grand verbalizer kisses, tribal connection, pyramids, witness the funk bearer, vibe sharer, not the error. Brother is balanced like the scales of Thor. And neither my demand makes stones seem soft. Correct all systems, positive poison of me. Some call it onk, it's a key. Black is a color while blackness, state of a mind state. But how many of them fake? Today, Brother J can find a better way, so be it. Plan it down and make it stay, I serve a purpose. Yet I'm not the G.I. Joe, I am the brother. Yo, I can never swear a person. Me a step to the mic and stage areas. I drop the science that breaks the clock barrier. Words of old make me more than a beginner. The key opens knowledge in places an antenna. Americana man, Africana brother. Don't forget the land, cause the birth is from the mother. A vibe is in place, obtained and discovered. Tune in your audio and hear the words of brother.
Yo, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, step off.
Heed the words of the brother, X-Clan. Neferkare Abena Stewart is a clinical psychologist at Alameda County Mental Health and Guidance Clinic. She is a lecturer in the Black Studies Department at San Francisco State University, and she is director of Extended Family Institute in Oakland, California. She has written 2 outstanding papers. She has probably written more since I acquired these. One is Developmental Norms in African American Infant Assessment Implication for Use of the Revised Denver Developmental Screening Test, and she has written an outstanding piece on melanin and sensory motor development in the African infant, another assessment implication. Neferkare means the beautiful soul, or Ka, the shadow, the double of Ra. Neferkare Abena Stewart.
Hotep elders, teachers, students, sisters, and brothers, it is an honor and a pleasure to be present at this second annual Melanin Conference, dealing with the mysteries and power of blackness. It is also wonderful for me to be here talking about blackness at the time of the lunar eclipse. So our sister moon is in blackness with us. Okay? I would like to ask the Great Mother, her Son, and the Holy Spirit of truth, justice, and righteousness, as represented by the goddess Ma'at, to guide my heart and my words as I speak, and the hearts of those who would hear me. African people exist under local and global conditions of white supremacy, as profoundly noted by Black African scientists Mr. Neely Fuller and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. This condition of white supremacy affects every aspect of our existence. It has resulted in systematic destruction of our black nation and world in general. The major tool of white supremacy in the age of automation has been mental slavery, psychological incarceration, or soul bondage. Dr. Asa Hilliard, a Black African chematologist, educator, psychologist, noted that mental bondage is invisible violence. He suggested that this form of slavery affects the minds of all people, and in one sense is worse than physical slavery alone, because the person in mental bondage is self-contained and will make no attempt to challenge the beliefs and patterns of thought which controlled him. He will even defend and protect those beliefs to the death. This form of bondage or enslavement, for the most part, has gone unchecked because it is invisible to the victim who is unaware of the cosmetic changes of our times. Victims of mental bondage exist, raise children under illusion of safety, leaving themselves totally vulnerable to the will of their oppressor. Psycho-spiritual enslavement has resulted in our unknowing participation in our own destruction. We have been programmed to manifest thought, speech, and action which promote and perpetuate the mission of white supremacy, which is to control, dominate, and if possible, annihilate all people of color off the face of this earth. Collectively, we have been programmed to be anti-black black people through various forms of miseducation, lies, and distortions of the truth. This programming tells the brain computer to fear, destroy, mistrust, and debase any conscious or unconscious symbolism of true blackness and the power that it may invoke. So that when pro-black statements are made and heard by the brain computer, they are automatically registered as anti-black sentiments, which result in a programmed response of fear, flight, or fight by the receiver of such messages. you become that crazy nigger. Get away from them. We have been trained or programmed as part of the white supremacy plan to hate the very essence or nature of life itself, the prima materia, the universal black mother substance. Contemporary Western science has recently come to understand what ancient African scientists, priests have revealed thousands of years ago, that the universe and all life forms were created from blackness and are transformed within a black defining system or network. On the walls at Luxor is a statement that says the birth of the divine man depends upon the transformation of the universal mother. What is it? The prima materia. It is my contention that this prima materia of human transformation refers to our black universal birthmark, which is the black substance of our universal mother, found throughout the universe and in all living systems. This universal birthmark of blackness tells us of our common connection and heritage with the great cosmic mother. It also reminds us that it is her gift of blackness and hence light that creates, guides, sustains, and transforms every area of our existence. The ancient Kemetic practice of chemia, later called alchemy by the Arabs, referred to a black substance of transformation which was thought to be the source of both power and life. It was equated or identified with the body of the god Osiris in the underworld, also known as the perfect black. Both Osiris and this black substance were thought to be the source of all life and power. The chemistry and principles involved in the preparation and use of this sacred black substance and the power ascribed were called chemia. The Arabs later referred to this science or art as al-chemia. Al meaning God. This can then be read as God's or Al's sacred black substance of life and power. The black substance of God. It is my contention that an understanding of the power of blackness is essential because it is the transforming substance from the womb of our great black cosmic mother. She is the real Kim Ware, the great black womb of creation, the universal house in which we all reside in various chambers awaiting further transformation. With this in mind, the programmed hatred and disdain for blackness, which has been developed within us and which we act out consciously or unconsciously, should be viewed as sacrilegious and can only lead to our further destruction. It is equivalent to the child who has been carefully made of the sacred blood and flesh and breath of its mother, and then after coming forth from the black womb of creation, holds contempt and hatred for the face and space or womb which brought it forth, its black mother. We too, like that child, have been disconnected from our mothers, our source, ourselves, our soul, and most importantly, our great cosmic heritage of blackness. This has been the intent of our oppressor, to separate us from our great mother, our source of power, as he may have felt cut off from his black mother through the ravages of the Ice Age, as he may have felt abandoned by his black mother and forced to undergo a process of depigmentation, de-blackening, and disempowerment, like a soldier of high rank or royal breeding, being stripped of that rank, stripped of that heritage for the world to see. Our oppressor is consciously or unconsciously aware of his cosmic and earthly black beginnings. He is aware on some level that 9/10 of the world's people are people of color, which simply means that it is biologically normal for the human species to possess certain levels of melanin or blackening agents for life. He is aware at some level that to be human, this is his language, to be human is to be a colored man, as opposed to be non-human or non-colored. He is also aware at some level that the womb of man or womb man is black and houses the life-giving power of blackness which he was denied, leaving him in a vulnerable and weakened condition. He's mad. So he's going to separate us from our mother, teach us to hate our mother. The human or colored man and his blackened genetic material called chromosomes, colored bodies, is a manifestation of the power of blackness, and thus he represents or symbolizes black power. He has been empowered by his mother with blackness, and he must not forget that. His mother is the power of blackness, the womb of man. In order for us to save ourselves from total destruction, black people must recognize and honor black power and the power of blackness. African liberation from mental bondage and the organization of white supremacy will be directly related to the resurrection resurrection or to restore our connection with our black ancestry and the black substance of our great black mother. It is imperative that we develop a wound or black cosmic consciousness if this is to happen.
I have arrived from the sun to speak to those that are of the hidden. It is time to stand center of the circle, bring along faith and order. The mission, the state of the original. The blessing of God's is my energy. The oath, freedom or death. What's up, G? I don't mean the currency or even your fly girlie. I mean the one with the 5 spread of the hand. You know the signal. You understand. What I'm about to embark upon is not a diss. Don't let the British in your order take a hit or miss. Remember me, gorilla in the mist, or even a foul god from the sun. I dare his story to be done this way. Off to the road with much respect. Got your attention, I do detect. What's up, G? Let's go to the stars. Gaze upon Tar. Yes, I know the move just that far. So here we're off to where you dare me to dare. Not even a drop or a minute fare. Step to you and your square and do understand from where you come. A pharaoh and Egyptian kingdom, attesting to earn to do a blessing. Upon a pharaoh, a queen resting. So I kneel to a master standing erect and recognize you the architect, but question where you the African begin and the British in your order end and say when. What's up, G? Squares and things. I shall use 360 as the means. Of these degrees, I I shall use a quarter to bring African back to your order. You say, who am I? You're beginning. Yo, African, you're losing. With yours as a prop, he's winning. I got the solution, the remedy. Once closed, now unlocked with a gold key. You see, Oba beats this move on a drum. A leg by toast you with a shot of rum. Osiris ices the birth, Heru the sun. And then, Van Glorious, we have come. What's up, G? By the way, Van Glorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. Architect, sissy.
British history. British history.
What's up, G? That's dedicated to the York Rites, the Scottish Rites, the Royal Society, and the Royal Arch, who have blasphemed the tenets of the Per Ankh, the House of Life. The widow's son is pissed. You're listening to WDTR, Detroit. As Neferkare began her piece, she basically described the pathology or the malady of those who Dr. Bobby Wright so aptly described as being victims of menticide, which has especially affected those Negroes who occupy positions of authority and influence. She also talked about an inscription at Luxor Temple. Luxor is what the Arabs was the Arab name for the place the Greeks called Thebes, whose original name was Ipet Isut, which means the most select of places. She said, the birth of the divine man depends on the transformation of the universal mother. As we began, we paid homage to Noon, the mass, the watery mass whom the physicists are calling chaos, out of whom emerged Ra in the form of Keper. Keper is the transformer whose ideograph is the black dung beetle. And so, Dr. Stewart talks about melanin as the facilitator from the womb to the tomb.
The power of blackness from the womb to the tomb. Evidence for a melanogenic-based theory of human development. I've been putting together my manuscript for the book, and so I've been learning a lot recently about things I've never known about, like embryology and development and living organisms and things of that nature. For those of you who were at the last Melanin conference, my paper was on melanin and creation, and it totally blew me away. I was, hit Christianity upside the head. Under the table. I had to crawl out and call Richard and said, I don't need a reference, but what do you think about God? I had to everything went out. I said, let me rethink it all. It was an upsetting time. So it took, within 6 months I stabilized and began to pick the books back up again. Okay. So one of the things that I came to understand is that melanin totally defines all aspects of reality. And that is the sacred substance of God. And that melanin, I would go as far to say, is equivalent to the mothership. I was speaking to Carol Barnes about, being able to say that. I said, I'm always, taking a little more liberties, and putting people's name to it and say, what you said basically means this, right? And so he said, okay, today that I could say that. That basically, it means that it is a property that houses all of the vital amines, all of the vital chemicals or substances that we need to make hormones, our steroids, how you get estrogen, how you get androgen, the vital components that enable you to process and make bones. And so the more I thought about this, I said, woo. And the more I thought about the very act or the essence, rather, of blackness. And that blackness or melanin receives light. And not only does it receive it, it takes that light energy and takes it through the creative process and produces new light. And in fact, blackness, particularly when you look at what happens with stars, how stars are made from black gas, and they come together, and they come together, and they move like Hunter was talking, and they begin to make heat, and eventually a star is born. And that blackness within the universe is able to produce the light, the substance, or the seeds of its later impregnation. And when I thought about that, I said, that's like women. I said, women produce men. And that when their genetic memory comes to them, they go home. Right? Is there any brothers that will testify? What leads you there? Something just takes you home. You want to go home. I said, so women actually produce the seeds of their later impregnation. That's a total system. Isn't that? And I remember Rickety Wimby talking at the last Melanin conference about blackness, and blackness being related to completion. I said, now that's a full circle. Is that a full circle? I'm going to put it out and I'm going to take it back. And I'm going to put it out again on another day. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. I became, the more I found out about development and how blackness is totally involved, and that all of us undergo a blackening process. That is the natural state of things. The natural state of things is to undergo a constant process of transformation. All processes of transformation, unless you are dead, involve blackness. Blackness is there in the beginning, and it's there to move you to the next step. It's beautiful. And so Dr. Nobles, and this will be in the last chapter of the book, has said, and I had to ask him one day, because I put in the book personal communication, because I couldn't remember if I had pulled this from something he had said, and I was saying he really meant this, and this is probably what he said, or if I had actually read it, or if I had heard him say it, or if someone told me he said it. But I asked him, and he said he did say it, and it is written somewhere, but he said that power is, true power, the ability to define reality. He did say, these people testifying for him. Power is the ability to define reality and have other people or systems respond to your definition. Isn't that's incredible? And he said that, or I read it, or however it got in me, he vibed it to me. I don't know. But I said, wow, that sounds like melanin. That's all that sounds like melanin. I said, melanin defines all aspects of existence. I said, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, talking about black power. We need to learn about the power of blackness. We need to go home. We need to develop a wound or cosmic consciousness and go home and come to understand, become reconnected with our mother substance. that is imperative. He said the power is the ability to define reality and have other people respond to your definition. Blackness defines, transforms, reiterates all aspects of universal and physical with respect to living systems. Melanin defines that. I looked at the physical development. My research was on African infant development. I get really excited. Oh, look, this is why they do it, and it's really terrific, and they develop this way, and their central nervous system is, they come here more prepared and neurologically, and that has to do with melanin, because melanin protects and refines the central nervous system, and that's why we're not at high risk for central nervous system diseases. And I was really gung-ho for that. And now I understand that that's a very limited perspective. It's like saying I'm going to be happy, singing the letter and not reading it, right? You want to know what's inside of it. One of the things that has come to me doing further evaluation, and it began with melanin and creation, is just the understanding that blackness and the blackness in space that came down and impregnated Mother Earth, who brought forth children, right? From that level, blackness defined that reality. If melanin was not present at the cosmic level, at the beginning, if melanin was not present in the first single cell organism, then it would not have survived, not in this system. Which is why it is strongly suggested that melanin predates DNA and probably organized DNA. Because if it was not there with its hands of protection, that cell would not have been able to exist within the solar system. You understand that? Some people say that the multiple-celled organisms or higher order organisms evolved from the single cell. So if they had it in the beginning, they didn't give it up. Right? So that means that melanin was there organizing, protecting, refining, transforming all levels of our and time frames of our development. All right? We also know that life began, if you move up to on land, we also know that life began on the continent of Africa, at the equator. And that if you were not blue-black, you wouldn't hang around long. So we know that the protective capacity, if nothing else, enabled the first humans to survive, to thrive, to transform, and to later go out and people, educate, and bring light to the world. So all that had to come from blackness. Blackness also enables you to be sensitive to external stimuli, which means I can feel what you're not saying. People say you got these vibes. I can't go in that room. It's some vibes. Wade always talks about, being in touch with the invisible. You better be. Because you can't see everything. Everything ain't going to be right here for you to see. And it is my belief that the Great Mother, our Creator, the Creator of the universe and the Creator of all, did not make the first species blue-black for nothing. And that blackness that we have learned to hate, that we have learned to debase, is our connection with God. Can an embryo or fetus survive if it cuts the umbilical cord? Even if it falls from the mother's womb and she don't pick it up and somebody else does, like a wolf, will it be who it is to be if it is disconnected from her? So it is dead. Its soul is dead, which is what we've become. It is imperative that we become reconnected with our blackness. That that is the only way we will be able to push back white supremacy and to liberate ourselves. Dr. Hunter sent me an article that totally blew me away, and I knew that the brain developed within, the black substance, and I knew that black neuromelanin helps to, make the brain work, do its job. It controls levels of consciousness. But one of the things that I did not know is that as the brain begins to mature and the infant can walk, 15 months hit them, 12 months, whatever, 9 months, they're able to walk, that is related to the process of myelinization. And that as the process of myelinization, and we'll say melanization, probably in some of those melanons, those neurons that are melanated. As myelinization proceeds, the child develops new skill. So when his sensory motor skills develop, that's because that area has become myelinated or melanated or blackened. And when 2 or 18 months comes around and speech is developed, mother's hand said, okay, it's time. And we move on, and we move on, and we move on. Developmental psychologists talk about the interaction between a child's way of knowing and the environment, and that as a child's way of knowing develops, that influences the environment. Or the environment and that come together, and you get a product. They never talk about what affects the child's way of knowing, and that it is an ongoing transforming process. It is a blackening process. As you get older, your skin blackens. Everybody's does. Everybody's does. As the child develops in the womb of its mother, she gets blacker. I read an article that if you take away MSH during a certain time of the child's development, MSH is the melanocyte stimulating hormone, which stimulates the growth and development or the sending of the growth hormones. If you take that back, the brain of the child stops developing. And that as the mother gets blacker and blacker and the child is growing and growing and growing, all of a sudden MSH begins to slack off. And at that point, it is time to deliver. And that's Mother Nature's way of saying it's time, you can come forth now. And that the inhibiting of melanin as well as the production of the blackening process are both controlled by melanin entities or components, melatonin and MSH. I equate them with Osiris and Aset. What is the womb and what is the tomb? In the process of studying and looking at embryology, I got a black dot flash, and I was talking about the gonads and the development of the gonads and how the gonads develop, and that's controlled and regulated by the pineal gland. So that means the reproductive system is controlled and monitored by the guardian black dot, because the pineal gland appears to control, regulate the floodgates, the biochemical and spiritual floodgates of blackness. That if melatonin is excreted, MSH inhibits. If MSH inhibits, blackness is shut off, and you're shut off. Okay? So with respect to development, I was looking at the development of the gonads, the ovaries and the testes, and how as the life cell, which is the egg and the sperm, develop, they undergo a blackening process. And so when Dr. King talks about black seeds, they really are black. And as they blacken up and mature, I'm serious. They leave the house of life. And I'm calling the gonads, they are just another chamber in the house of light. Because they I said life, but I guess light too. Because they house the life seeds. And when I realized that, I said, wow, that is heavy. I said, maybe we're all just in various chambers in the house of the Great Mother. And I said, and as that egg matures and comes down the fallopian tube, it's in another chamber, ready to be transformed. And as it leaves the fallopian tube, if it's fertilized by its black brother who's coming, the blacker the swifter, only the strong survive. It's the truth. I'm not making this up. White people said it. The egg implants in the darkness of the womb. If it is not, and it develops. If it is not fertilized, it passes on through, doesn't it? And returns to Mother Earth. So see, we're just moving from chamber to chamber. So there is no tomb. There are only chambers in the house of the Great Mother. The truth is that God is not in a book, holy, golden, or otherwise. God is not in a church, cathedral, or synagogue. God is not in any concrete theological institution. God is definitely not bursting from the veins of the righteously profitable balconies of the TV ministry. God is also not for sale. God is the universe. We are all now living inside the body of God. There is nowhere to go to get there. See how you acting in the house? We are already there. There is nowhere to go to get outside of God. There is just a forgetting of these truths. It is impossible not to be living right now and always within the body of the Great Mother. You're right there with the moon and the sun. It is only possible to be unaware or aware of these eternal facts. Patahoti.
There comes a time in every man's life when he shall take a stand. In this case, for his people. He is prepared to create a miracle than to sit back and expect one. We have come, sissy. A black man driven to a substance in a stolen land. So how can this be in the motherland? The root of many substances were free. Used for cures, penicillin, can't you see? But the root of this matter is the poppy. Yo, female in a race, get with me. So feminist, you call me a chauvinist. The contradiction to this is endless. So black women, why are you involved in this? You have descended from greatness like ISIS. Come on, silly rabbit. Get back into the habit, call on your genes. Get back to your crowns, you queens. It's life or death with us, can't you see? Let you not be the key, the definition of a sissy.
Blackness, grits and cornbread. How can you act this? I exist on a plane where the jar's my brain. I'm living to retrieve
the pill. The controversy in this matter is ill. What about the creator's will? Watch out for the trap, black girl. You have done well to adapt, but here's a slap. No, not the physical. I know to the other man it's called illegal, and his very thought in your mind is lethal. So let me do it like this. Here's what's amiss. For an example, indulge me. Here's a list. Winnie Mandela got her some kind of fella, Betty Shabazz. Her man for 30 years influenced the mass. She's a professor, sometimes teaches class. Don't hand me the razzmatazz, I'm not having it. The definition of a sissy.
All Father, grandest creator, I pray for those on both sides of equator. Professor X, when will they learn when life enters doors, death no return, no return?
ISIS, independent, no strength to Osiris. Now come to the zero and get this. My plea is only common sense. With the spirit, this will be righteous. Let them have their Virginia Slims. Only with your love like the Moses we shall win. And the original harmony will begin again.
A man of the soil, crossroad walker, grapevine swinger of the pyramid stalker, making God music in sync with the universe. So here we go again, Professor X.
So remember me and you, black woman, in his eyes have always been equal. Put on your crown, defined mother's cap, bring power back to the people. By the way, Van Glorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green, with a key at the crossroad. Sissy.
And so, as we discuss the re-emergence of the matriarchy, we say in exaltation, ladies first.
The rhyme, it is wicked. Those that don't know how to be pros get evicted. A woman could bear you, break you, take you. Now it's time to rhyme. Can you relate to assistance open up to make you holler and scream?
Hey, yo, let me take it from here, queen. Excuse me, but I think I'm about due to get into precisely what I am about to do. I'm conversating to the folks who have no whatsoever clue. So listen very carefully as I break it down for you. Merrily, 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 hyper, happy, overjoyed. Please, with all the beats and rhymes my sisters have employed. Look at me throwing down the sound totally a yes. Let me state the position. Ladies first, yes?
Yes.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Believe me when I say being a woman is great to see. I know that all the fellas out there will agree with me. Not for being one, but for being with one. Cause when it's time for loving, it's the woman that gets them strong. Stepping, strutting, moving on, rhyming, cutting, and not forgetting. We are the ones to give birth to the new generation of prophets, cause it's ladies first.
I break into a lyrical freestyle. Grab the mic, look at the crowd and see smiles. Cause they see a woman standing up on her own too. Sloppy slouching is something I won't do. Some think that we can't flow. Stereotypes, they got to go. I'ma mess around and flip the scene into revert.
With what?
With a little touch of ladies first. You must be blind if you don't believe or hear. Listen to this rhyme. Ladies first, take no time to rehearse. I'm divine and my mind expands throughout the universe. A female rapper with a message to send. The Queen Latifah is a perfect specimen.
My sister, can I get some?
Sure, Moni Love, grab the mic and get dumb.
Yo, praise me not for being simply what I am. Born in L.O.N.D.O. and down American. You dig exactly where I'm coming from. You want righteous rhyme and I'ma give you some to enable you to age yourself and get paid. And the material that has no meaning I wish to play. Pay me every bit of your attention, like mother, like daughter. I would also like to mention, I wish for you to bring me to the rhythm of which is now systematically given. Desperately stressing, I'm the daughter of a sister who's the mother of a brother who's the brother of another. Plus one more, all four have a job to do. We doing it respect due to the mother who's the root of it. And next up tough as meat. The MONIELOVE, and I'm first cause I'm a LAZIE.
Contact and in fact, the style it gets harder. Cooling on the scene with my European partner, laying down track after track, waiting for the climax. When I get there, that's when I tax the next man or the next woman. It doesn't make a difference. Keep the competition coming, and I recite chapter in verse. The title of this recital is Ladies First.
And so, as we return to the mothership, my name is Mzee, telling you to keep in mind the word is sacred. There are no bad words. There's only bad word usage. Tutal now.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of our guest and not those of WDTR 90.9 FM. Your comments and compliments may be addressed to us here at WDTR, Educational Broadcasting, 9345 Lawton, Detroit, Michigan, 48206.
WDTR 90.9.